himself to go in there with a place that he lives right next to and place the person who worked there, who was working for a living, under fear while he stole approximately $3,000 from him. Judge, the store clerk identified Mr. Gonzalez because he recognizes him and his brother from the neighborhood, and Mr. Gonzalez was found nearby. He has criminal history dating back to the mid-1990s. He has a gang affiliation. I think in this case, Judge, he deserves to go to.
Mr. Gonzalez, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh,
Are you Adam Gonzalez?
yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
None from the state.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video Conference. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Ma'am, I did.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, could you step back from your screen a little bit? All right, thank you. Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Ma'am, I did.
And did you electronically sign it? What?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Ms. Guerrero, I'm showing you what's entitled Discovery Acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
I do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we are waiving the enhancement allegation at the bottom.
Any objection?
No objection. No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Did you understand you're charged with aggravated robbery? That's a first-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years of life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
No.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
No.
I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
He does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
I am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial, showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be set at a cap of 7 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of the deadly weapon. The state opposes your application for deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution of $3,000 to La Tienda, Tienda Food Mart. There's to be no contact with Tharun, Tharun, Kadada, Kandada, or La Tienda Food Mart at 627 Couples Road. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
I did, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged in the indictment, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, ma'am.
I'm sorry,
No
what?
contest. No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Judge. State would offer State's Exhibit number 1 and all attachments to the court.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I'm going to show you what's entitled wavering consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand that the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments. After reviewing said documents, the court finds that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, the court is deferring finding of guilt as you apply for deferred adjudication. Ms. Ferguson, could I have a sentencing date for Mr. Gonzalez? And he obviously will need a TAP evaluation.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez, I don't know what's going on with your life, but it seems like you need to go to AA or NA meetings, okay?
Okay.
You look completely different from the way you looked in your photo when you were arrested.
Right, who is the prosecutor on Adam Gonzalez?
That's me, Judge.
Court, just a moment. Court is calling 2021 CR 0392, State of Texas versus Adam Isaac Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brian Groomer for the state of Texas.
Monica Guerrero for Mr. Adam Gonzalez, and he's present as well. We're ready.
All right. And are you Mr. Gonzalez? All right, you entered a plea on March 28th of no contest. The state waived the enhancement without objection. You applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments to be assessed at a cap of 7 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state is opposed to your application for deferred adjudication. And there's restitution and no contact orders as a part of your agreement. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report state?
Yes, Judge.
Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report state?
None.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, do you have any witnesses?
No, Judge. Just argument.
Defense, any witnesses?
No, Your Honor, just argument.
All right, then state you're opposed.
Yes, Judge. We would be opposed to his application for deferred, Judge. As you're well aware, you've read the steps in this particular case, Judge. This is a small food mart in an area of town that they provide services to the public there. Mr. Gonzalez took it upon himself to go in there with a handgun to a place that he lives right next to and place the person who worked there, who was working for a living, under fear while he stole approximately $3,000 from him. Judge, the store clerk identified Mr. Gonzalez because he recognizes him and his brother from the neighborhood, and Mr. Gonzalez was found nearby. He has criminal history dating back to the mid-1990s. He has a gang affiliation. I think in this case, Judge, he deserves to go to prison. I don't think that deferred adjudication would be appropriate in this case. He takes no responsibility for what happened that day. He takes no responsibility for any drug issues he has. We believe it's a prison case that he deserves to go to prison on.
All right, defense.
On behalf of my client, Judge, if the court will note in the PSI that his last any type of criminal activity or any type of intervention hasn't been part of his life since the latest was 2008, and that was a misdemeanor, and 1994 for felonies when he was super young. and was revoked, which would be now state jail felonies, to 10 years in prison. He's tried to maintain sobriety. He hasn't used drugs in a long time. He hasn't had any drinks. And he's trying to help his mother, who is now elderly. He has a child that's 6 years old. He hasn't been able to work regularly because he's on full GPS. So he hasn't been able to get money to pay his child support, which he's in arrears for. He would like the opportunity to show the court that he can complete deferred adjudication, that his life has changed since the 90s. And his mom needs him. She would have been here, but she has disabilities and she's working at a prenatal shop. So she couldn't just leave to come here. She does want him home. He hasn't had any violations while he's been on GPS, and it's been nearly 2 years. So we're asking that the court gives him a chance to be on this deferred adjudication, Judge.
All right. Is there anything you wish to say, Mr. Gonzalez?
No, ma'am.
Court's going to deny the application. There's a punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 7 years. The court is finding you guilty. Would parties like to speak to the cap?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, I guess the state gets to go first.
We believe 7 is appropriate, Judge. His conduct is escalating. This is the most serious offense he has. We believe 7 years is appropriate. He was facing up to life in prison on this case. The plea agreement already reduced his exposure all the way down to 7. We believe 7 is appropriate.
And Judge, we're asking for the minimum. This was a case that he felt was very tribal, and he's indicated to me that it may be somebody else in the family that was not him. However, we understood that he was going to come in and accept responsibility, and we're asking for the minimum.
All right, the court is going to follow your agreement, sentence you to 7 years in the prison. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Does anyone want to speak to restitution? I have a restitution amount in here of $3,000. That's what was agreed to. So restitution of $3,000 to La Tienda, TIENDA Food Mart. No contact with Tharun, THARUN, Kandada, KANDADA, or La Tienda Food Mart at 627 Couples. I'm going to show you a document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
She's asking if you signed the papers. Tell me what you want to.
Yes, did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it? It's a trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Your signature is here.
Yeah.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what the definition of a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to your attorney. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Is there any way that I can just take it to trial?
All right, Mr. Gonzalez,
Yes, ma'am.
you entered into a plea bargain agreement, and according to that plea bargain agreement, your punishment was to be assessed at cap of 7 years. I followed your plea bargain agreement. So you're going to prison for 7 years. You've been found guilty. You're given credit for any time served. Do you understand?
Right.
All right, good luck to you.